This optical zoom is a 35mm equivalent of a 24-70, aperture speed f1.7 at the wider end through to 2.8 at the 70 equivalent end, giving a small portrait down to a wide angle, which I believe the 24mm gives about 86 degrees coverage. The Lx100 has a rear screen, not unusual. Also, it has an LCD screen within the viewfinder. This has an eye sensor, which will of course activate the viewfinder when it's brought up to the eye. Obviously this camera isn't an eye. You can do it manually by switching this. The camera is beautifully crafted. The metal casing, it has a shutter speed dial like the traditional film cameras did, and some are even reverting back to that, especially the Fuji's. So you have your shutter dial, shutter speeds from 1+ seconds, which in the menu you can actually select from that point to set the shutter speed in increments going up to 60 seconds. T will give you a similar function to the B or bulb. Light compensation, 2 stops either way, with 1/4 of a stop increments. Filter, built-in filters giving various sepia, monochrome, dynamic, HDR, and various other effects. Please note that while recording your still images in RAW, the filter effect will be recorded separately on a JPEG. Thus you will always have the original image. We have a manual aperturing here, which has the in-between increments as well. And we also have the format, which as I change this, you will see changes the format accordingly. We have the zoom function. Extremely quiet. Focus controls, autofocus, macro and manual. Once in the manual, then you can use the focusing ring. With an optional facility to turn this off, you actually have a guide which will zoom in to allow you to focus. And again, extremely quiet. There is an option also to use this as your zoom control, obviously while the camera is in autofocus. The camera does not have a built-in flash. But as you can see, it has a hot shoe. And is provided with a small flash gun, which is literally not much bigger than my thumb. This comes in a small pouch. Has its own separate power on, and will of course power up. Please note, if you do have the sound off, it will power the flash down in electronic shutter mode. But you can separate the sounds, turning off for the focus bleep, etc. So there is a way around it. We have quick menu, using the left and right toggle screen to go through, and to control these using the zoom button there. You can scroll through and select. Also have display, like many SLRs. This button here, which will optionally give you the spirit level there. As well as your controls display, so you can see what's going on. Your main menu, which you can go through the levels, camera, multiple exposures, time lapse, many other options. Video control. Custom settings. Histogram. Guidelines. Wi-Fi, playback controls. Resizing facilities, cropping facilities. So we've gone into raw processing mode here, so you can actually go in and do those. On some of them it seems. It's getting a battery warning there. So, your Wi-Fi button on and off. If it doesn't connect to your Wi-Fi, it does actually disable that. So that will disable the power loss. You've got all the other usual self-timer functions. But you'll find that the quick access using the switches and dials does make this camera an absolute delight to use, and is a perfect larger coat pocket camera for the photographer who wants to be able to have a camera with him or her pretty much all the time. So if you don't want to take out your full frame big lump, then this is one of the top 10 professional compact camera choices. The sensor is a micro four thirds. Has a Leica optics. In fact, there is a Leica model, the Leica Deluxe. It is the same camera, just more expensive because it has Leica here, as opposed to Lumix. But they are the same camera, pretty much, apart from a few tiny differences. As we know, Panasonic, Lumix and Leica have a very close relationship. The craftsmanship of this is lovely. You do also have your diopter there, for those who use glasses. You record for your 4K video, AE and focus lock, quick menu guide. It's truly a remarkable camera to use. You've got your double exposures, you've got your multiple exposures. The only drawback I'm a little bit disappointed with is I wish they drilled a hole here for a cable release like on the Fuji, or at the very least provide a socket for a remote control. However, there is an app that you can control the camera from, which I'm still experimenting with. So far I can only get 2 minutes as the longest exposure while on the T mode, but I am investigating if it's the app that's the issue, or does the camera have a limit. If anybody knows the answer to that, I would appreciate it. It's only had it a few days, but so far I find the results quite extraordinary. Please note, as with a lot of cameras, you yourselves may have used the quality, even though it's good when you play back your images. If they're good on the screen, they will be outstanding on the computer. If they don't look as good as you hoped, they're probably still they're still superb on the computer. So, as with a lot of cameras, even my EOS 6D full frame, sometimes the monitor image doesn't really do it justice. These trend on eBay at the time of posting this video. That's the battery warning shutting down there. The batteries for these are quite expensive. They can be £40 to £60. Be careful on getting fakes though, because of course they can catch fire. It does have a 43mm filter thread, and you can get a variable neutral density, which as you rotate it changes. I think up to about 8 stops. So 43mm filter thread, comes with a lens cap. You can get the auto-open lens cap for it as well, I believe, and a gorgeous vintage style case. If you look on Flickr, and I know there's a Facebook group for the Lx100, you will see some quite extraordinary creative results on there. If you are familiar and knowledgeable on photography, trust me, you will find this delight to use, and it will push your creativity while being able to take it everywhere without your family moaning too much when you take the larger SLR around with you.